Hey everybody, how's it? Good morning. Nice and early this morning. Gonna get another video out. Thank you all so much again for comments, for dropping links in. This song that I'm doing today is Dystopia by a band called, I think it's TesseracT. If I don't, you know how I am about pronouncing stuff. I expect your comments. And I'm finding out all these great acts because you're dropping links in the comments, which makes my life much easier than me searching out when you guys say, hey, try this. Drop the links in there. Also, I want to say that this journey that I'm on is expanding. I'm learning a lot. You know, a lot of people have opinions and stuff on how I should do things, and I listen. You know, I'm not like this narrow-minded, this is what I'm doing, you know, because I didn't start off with a plan. I just did that Tool Sober video, and you can see, for me, for a little old composer, the decomposer, the subs and everything are crazy and stuff, and so I'm just blown away. I'm excited. I feel like a little puppy that take me home, take me home, take me home. Anyhow, so thank you very much for allowing me into your computer, into your homes and stuff with my opinions as a decomposer. Before I put on my headsets, I still get the comments. These are AKG 240s. The link is going to be down there. Also, the link for this song will be down there so you can listen to it without me muttering over it. And also, there'll be like a link down there to buy any of their CDs or vinyls or MP3s or streaming. I'm coming to find out that a lot of people that are hanging out and subscribing are checking out other videos by virtue of possibly enjoying that whatever I have to say about composition. And they're finding, whoa, I never heard of this band, this is great. So I think that's wonderful. That's another great, thing that's happening here. So I put that link below. And also, I always say this, any commercials, any advertising that runs during the video is not me. I do not monetize my channel. The copyright owners can file a claim against it. Once it's claimed, they can run the ads against it, so it ain't me, okay? All right, let's do this thing. Dystopia by TesseracT. All right, let's do this. Wow. Okay. So far, I'm really excited about what I'm hearing. The opening was a very long pad. That's why I took a second maybe for you guys to catch audio. And what that does for me, what is a pad? Once again, when I do my decomposing, I do it with me focusing on folks that are just enjoying the music and taking it to another level, perhaps to give them an option to enjoy their music a little more by the nuances that I bring with my reacting. For those who are looking for a little more theory and stuff, I'm beginning to sprinkle more and more on that as we move forward, as you'll see with more videos coming up. Okay, that opening pad really sets the tone really in my head. It's almost like, excuse me, sometimes for those who are foodies, you eat something in between servings, it clears the palate kind of thing. This sets the tone, that pad, that wide pad in the headsets sets the tone. It's almost like doing this to your soul. It's like going, it kind of feels that opening, because it's a dynamic stereo thing. It's you're using your, the senses are being used differently. Your ears, the way they process sound. Very beautiful wide opening. Okay, so this song thus far doesn't seem like it's heavy meter centric. The opening seemed like 3/4, and then they went into 4/4, and then they went into 6/8. It seemed like, let me look at my notes. Yeah, 6/8 into the hook. Now remember, I'm doing this on the fly, right? So I've realized I've got to write some stuff down, otherwise I miss stuff. And let me tell you something that I've never mentioned about any of the videos that I've done, especially with these odd metered pieces of music, which I think you see as a consistent theme with you if you're a subscriber, and me, is the music that I'm choosing is very meter centric, or has something to deliver to you as a listener. That's kind of one thing that I haven't explained that makes this so powerful. Meshuggah, all these bands that I've been reacting to, is space. The space I just gave you. Space is opposite, obviously, than being, or like sound, no sound, okay? Famous line, I think by Miles Davis, is, it's the space between the notes that's the real music, or something like that. When that space actually plays into the way you receive that rhythmic information. So imagine this rhythm here, or any rhythms of anything that I've done that is really hardcore, kind of gent, or, powerfully rhythm. Imagine if these were half notes. Or dotted, or not dotted quarter notes, let's just say half notes. So in other words, there is no stopping, there is no muting, there is no gating, whatever it is in between it. Then there'd be this long rambling pieces. It still would, hit you. The rhythm, because it's supported by the kick, would still hit you. But the power of space is infinite in this style of music, really in any style of music. And how you work with that space or not, to me, is what dictates how you respond to it. That's what gives odd meter music, in my opinion, that levity, is that where's that space? Wow, it's working with it, and space is working with that arrangement. I'll probably drill into more details about that with other tracks that I move forward. Another thing I want to bring up, the locking in of the bass and the kick is paramount always in these meter change, or these intensely arranged, rhythmically arranged pieces of work. I'll get into more on that in another break. I do want to bring up the vocals. As I'm learning more about these bands that you guys are turning me on to, I think I'm just used to, if you say rock and roll and stuff, there's that, growl in the voice, or, that kind of distortion, I think of Motley Crue-ish and all that 80s style. These singers have these pure, beautiful, powerful voices, and I love the way it works with this music. It's an inviting in kind of new vibe to me, as far as like I'm listening to something very, and then this vocal comes in. Another thing about the vocals, not only are they very crisp, but I'm going to go into engineering for a second. Once again, because there's such a hard left-right for the guitars, this pocket in the middle is really up to the engineer to fill the way they choose, and the producers, and et cetera, et cetera. The kick. Remember what I said about the kick? A very thud right down the middle, zero effect compared to the rest of the kit. The snare, the toms, and the hats, possibly in an overhead. If you notice, the hi-hat was really kind of hard on the right side. That sometimes tells me as an engineer that perhaps they didn't use as an option overheads, and if they did, they're very pulled down low, because usually you'll hear a hi-hat or something that has a little bit more of an ambient vibe to it. I don't know. I'm not the engineer. And then one last thing I want to bring up before I roll forward is the effects on the vocals. While he was singing his, let me see, I want to make sure I get this right. Well, while he was singing his verse, Very, very nice and, pocketed, a little compression and stuff right up the middle. And then as he got into as he got into his chorus and stuff, of course, harmonies kicked in. But then if you notice, they moved up reverb and delay and stuff to give it that kind of wider dynamic, that fire it out there kind of thing. So a lot to digest there, but that's how I do what I do. Like a lot of people say in the comments, dude, you do you. Okay, so let's move forward. I'll go back a little bit here. Okay, stand by. Oh, geez. There we go. Okay, good. I didn't know if that was the end of the song. Okay, to expand a little bit more, this won't be as long as a rant as that earlier break I did. For you Tool fans, what do you hear that's similar? Even though two different bands, obviously two different styles of arrangement and stuff. What do you hear? Can you dial into something here? Ironically, using the term dial. It's in the key of D. Okay, so far this song has been in the key of D all the way through. Not only do they drill that at home during the verses, they're just hammering that D. Boom. Well, I'm not going to try to do the rhythm. Okay, but something else that I've picked up going through the song is they're definitely not shy of overdubs, doing overdubs. There is a pad in the background that's also holding that D. So it's too high for me to sing, but it would be... You go back and listen to it, especially this last section that just went by. They just had that pad holding, or it's not even a pad. It could be just a single note, and it's a very wide note. It's really, really super cool. Whoever's doing the arranging on this, arranging is different than composition. I might do a different video on that and explain that later. Who's ever doing the arrangement on this, though sparse, is very impactful. At least the way I hear it. You could really go nuts with arrangements, man. You could fill this song up 7 ways to Sunday, but it's very impactful. And I love when engineers / producers take creative liberties and use their skill set, especially as engineers, because you can tweak a sound and make it sound like anything. Guitars, I can make it sound like a violin if I wanted to, or whatever. There was that little 2-bar turnaround where the vocals seemed to have kind of got sucked into a tight spot, and they affected the vocal and stuff, and then they came out of the effect and bloomed again. So it was like kind of a blooming back into the power of the song. So, okay, this one's shorter than my last blah, blah, blah. as my granddaughter would say. Abba, you just go blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me go back. There's something coming up here that could be fun. Okay, I guess that was that. I don't know if that was me or that was the end of the song. Okay, that last passage, let me take these off. I realize I can take these off after I'm done. Those two passages, when they just was all about the pads and those pianos, or that one piano, very subtle changes. You know, more and more composers, you know, songwriters and stuff are not adhering to the in it within a minute to win it radio mentality of writing a song. That has to do with how to write a song for radio, pop culture. It's a whole different thing. I'll get to that some other time. So songs are now longer and stuff, and they have the liberty because they're not held to the constraints of that in production, and they understand their fans. That a passage like that, that's nothing but that spacey pad work with the piano, and then bringing you back in, and then chilling you out with that spacey ending. Which I hope that wasn't the ending. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know, because I don't know if the song. You know, sometimes songs will have hard edits because it sweeps into something else. So anyhow, my experience here with this particular song is it's an amazing. Thank you very much for exposing me. I'm going to go ahead and look a little deeper into this band. I'll probably find another track I'm going to want to do because I really enjoy their arrangements. Thanks for coming with me on this journey. Obviously, leave your questions, leave your comments, leave your suggestions on other tracks for me to hear. Once again, the link for the headsets are down there. And if you've made it this far, if I have nothing to sell for myself, and I don't ask for anything, obviously, and I don't have a book or a subscription or something to get to. But if you decide you want to buy me a cup of coffee, there's a Venmo link down there. But I don't somebody said I shouldn't be shamed to do this. So any money that comes into that cup of coffee, I'm a ventriloquist for kids. I'm a children's hospital entertainer, and I do children's hospital visits, and I can't now since COVID. So I buying 3,500 units of these masks that are really super cool with my main character Wyatt. And so if you do donate a little something or give me, buy me a cup of coffee, most of it's going to go to me doing this for the kids and sending it out to the hospitals and the recreational therapists and stuff. Anyhow, thank you very much. It's early morning. The sun's coming up here over Waimea. And today's a full beach day. So tomorrow when you see me, I'm probably going to be sunburned. All right. Aloha. Take care.